Welcome to Rich People Club. Today we're uncovering secrets that are being used against you without you even knowing. Imagine this. You walk into a store, have a conversation, or even browse a website, and suddenly your decisions aren't as conscious as you think. Psychologists are exposing tricks so subtle, yet so powerful that they might as well be illegal. The scary part? These methods are influencing you in ways you can't detect. From manipulating your environment to planting thoughts in your mind with just a few words, the rich and powerful have mastered these tactics for years. In this video, we're breaking down 6 unethical psychological tricks that control your decisions. And they might leave you wondering just how much control you really have. Trick 1. Influence of environment on decisions. It's amazing how our environment subtly dictates our behavior without us realizing it. Picture yourself walking into a luxury boutique. The soft lighting, the scent of expensive perfume, the ambient music. All of this isn't by accident. These elements are crafted to make you feel comfortable, even powerful, encouraging you to make more lavish decisions, like spending money without hesitation. This isn't just a retail trick, it's a tool that the wealthy use in their daily lives. Whether it's their office setup or home decor, they control their surroundings to reinforce success and abundance. In turn, their environment influences them to make decisions that align with wealth-building habits. Every detail counts. Successful people know that the right environment fosters the right mindset. For example, a high-powered CEO might design their office with high-end furniture, subtle lighting, and even artwork that promotes creativity and focus. All of these details aren't just aesthetic. They set the tone for big decisions, making wealth feel like a natural part of the process. This kind of environment pushes them toward more powerful, successful actions. The way an environment primes decisions shows that success isn't just about what you know or do. It's about controlling the space where you think and act. But there's a deeper layer, the subconscious. Environments don't just influence us on a surface level, they reach much deeper into our decision-making processes. Subconscious perception of environment. What's even more surprising is how much of this environmental influence happens subconsciously. You might think you're making independent decisions, but often, your brain has already been nudged in a certain direction by what's around you. For instance, if you're seated in a luxurious restaurant, you might not even notice the subtle details, like the calming background music or the elegant decor, yet these elements are shaping how you feel and act. This subconscious influence plays a huge role in decision-making, especially when it comes to wealth and success. People who are rich or aspire to be rich know that the way they feel in certain environments affects their confidence and, in turn, their ability to make powerful choices. By surrounding themselves with cues of success, whether it's a high-end office, an expensive watch, or even the company they keep, they're priming their minds to stay aligned with their goals. Take a moment to think about how your environment makes you feel. Does it motivate you to think big, or does it hold you back? Making small changes, like upgrading your workspace or even the visuals you surround yourself with, can lead to a more success-driven mindset without you even realizing it. This is why the rich and powerful pay attention to every detail, ensuring their surroundings are always in line with their desired outcomes. It's not just about the luxury or the objects in the space, it's about how those elements speak to your subconscious, setting you up for success without you even knowing it. But next, we'll look at how specific objects, especially those connected to emotion, can influence decisions just as powerfully. Trick 2. Priming with emotionally connected objects. Have you ever noticed how certain objects carry emotional weight? A simple item, like a guitar or a book, can change the way others perceive you, and even how you feel about yourself. This isn't just coincidence. It's a psychological phenomenon known as priming. When you interact with emotionally charged objects, you start behaving in ways that align with the feelings those objects evoke. Think about a person carrying a guitar case. They might instantly seem more artistic or romantic, even if they never play a note. It's the emotional association tied to the object that changes how they're perceived. This trick is used by the wealthy in subtle ways, surrounding themselves with items that evoke power, luxury, or intelligence, and in turn, reinforcing those qualities in their own actions and others' perceptions. For example, successful entrepreneurs might keep a collection of inspirational books or luxurious watches. These aren't just status symbols. They're tools to prime their mindset for achievement. When they glance at these objects, they subconsciously remind themselves of their goals and the lifestyle they're building. It's a constant reinforcement of the image they're projecting to the world. By keeping these objects close, they're not just showing wealth, they're living it. Objects can shape your mindset and influence how others view you, making priming a powerful tool in the pursuit of success. But the influence doesn't stop at objects. Let's explore how symbolic meaning attached to these objects takes the power of priming to another level. The power of symbolic objects. Symbols have a way of speaking to us on a deep level, often without us even realizing it. Take, for instance, a luxury car or a sleek office chair. These objects don't just serve a practical purpose, they represent status, success, and wealth. When we see or use these items, we're influenced to act in ways that reflect their symbolic meaning, often striving for greater success or feeling more powerful in the moment. Successful people understand this and use it to their advantage. By incorporating symbols of wealth and luxury into their lives, they constantly reinforce the mindset of success. A millionaire might wear a specific watch not just because it tells time, but because it symbolizes achievement. Every time they glance at it, they're reminded of their journey and the wealth they've built. Even something as simple as artwork can serve this purpose. A powerful painting in an executive office doesn't just decorate the space. It sets the tone for big decisions. It's a reminder of creativity, power, and ambition. And the best part? These symbols influence not only the person using them, but also anyone who enters their environment. Symbols, when used effectively, speak louder than words. They prime both the individual and those around them for success and power. But beyond symbols, let's examine how even background images can alter your mindset, shaping your behavior as a consumer and decision maker. Before that, if you're enjoying this content, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to keep learning about secret persuasion techniques that we'll uncover for you. Trick 3. Background images shaping consumer behavior. Imagine visiting a website where the background image is filled with soft clouds, and now compare that to another site with images of coins. Believe it or not, these small details can completely change how you approach a decision. In one study, customers who saw clouds on a furniture site were more likely to focus on comfort, while those who saw coins prioritized price. This happens because our brains are always picking up on cues from our surroundings, even ones we don't consciously notice. The background images you see can subtly direct your attention and influence what you value in that moment. It's no surprise that successful marketers use this to steer consumers' choices without them even realizing it. The wealthy and powerful understand how visual stimuli affect decision-making. This is why luxury brands are so meticulous with their branding. Every visual element is designed to make you feel rich, luxurious, and ready to invest in their products. By shaping the visual environment, they guide you toward decisions that align with their goals. But background images are just one form of visual stimuli. Sometimes, even more subtle cues can condition your behavior in ways you might not expect, which brings us to the next trick: how visual conditioning affects your decisions. Condition decisions by visual stimuli. You might not realize it, but something as simple as the image on the wall, or even the color of the room you're in, can drastically change how you behave. Studies show that if you're surrounded by images that convey success or power, you're more likely to adopt behaviors that reflect those qualities. It's a subtle but powerful form of conditioning. Successful people often use this trick to reinforce their mindset. They fill their offices or homes with visuals that remind them of their goals. Whether it's artwork that inspires creativity or motivational quotes that keep them focused, these visual cues push them to stay aligned with their pursuit of wealth and success. Even the colors around you can play a significant role. A room painted in rich, deep tones might make you feel more sophisticated, while bright, vibrant colors can energize you. The more you understand how visual stimuli condition your mindset, the more control you have over how you approach your goals. But it's not just visuals that can manipulate behavior. Sometimes, the words we hear can be even more powerful in shaping our decisions. This brings us to the concept of subtle manipulation through comparisons. Trick 4. Subtle manipulation through irrelevant comparisons. One of the oldest tricks in the book is using irrelevant comparisons to influence how someone perceives value. Let's say you're looking at a product priced at $75,000. That might seem steep, but if the salesperson first jokes about how it could have been $1 million, suddenly $75,000 seems reasonable. It's a clever tactic that shifts your perception of value. The rich and powerful know how to use this tactic to their advantage. By setting an unrealistic comparison first, they can make a hefty price or difficult decision feel much smaller in comparison. It's a psychological nudge that works because our minds are wired to anchor onto whatever number or idea is introduced first. This trick isn't just used in business, it's something you can apply in everyday life. Imagine negotiating a salary or a big purchase. By anchoring the conversation on a higher number, you're more likely to settle on a better deal. And the best part is, the other person won't even realize they've been subtly nudged. Of course, it's not just comparisons that can influence decisions. Even the way you phrase a request can have a huge impact, which leads us to the power of verbal priming in conversations. Verbal priming in sales conversations. Words are powerful, and the way you frame a conversation can change everything. Imagine a salesperson who's struggling to close deals. Instead of simply stating the price, they start by saying, "Obviously, I can't charge you $1 million for this." Suddenly, the actual price feels like a bargain. This is verbal priming in action. Rich and successful individuals use this technique constantly. By framing a conversation in a way that primes the other person's expectations, they can steer the outcome in their favor. It's a subtle form of influence that works because it sets a context before the actual message is delivered. Think about how you can use this in your life. Whether you're negotiating a contract or asking for a raise, start by setting expectations with a high number or difficult scenario. This way, when you present your actual request, it feels much more reasonable. Words, when used strategically, can be as powerful as any visual cue. But beyond clever words and tactics, one of the most powerful tools of influence is creating a sense of shared identity, which brings us to the next trick. Trick 5. Creating shared identity, unity. People are naturally inclined to trust those who share a common identity with them. Whether it's a shared interest, background, or family connection, this sense of unity creates an instant bond. For instance, when a salesperson says, "This is the product I would recommend to my own family," it immediately builds trust, making the listener more likely to agree. This tactic is used often by those in power to create a sense of belonging. By positioning themselves as part of the same group, they lower defenses and make others more receptive to their ideas. It's not about manipulation. It's about fostering a sense of unity that encourages cooperation and trust. In your life, you can apply this by emphasizing common ground in negotiations or persuasive conversations. If you make the other person feel like you're both on the same team, they're much more likely to agree with you. Unity is a powerful tool, and when used correctly, it can open doors you never thought possible. But unity isn't just about shared identity. It's also about empathy. When people feel understood, they're more likely to be influenced. Let's explore how empathy plays a role in persuasion next. Empathy and persuasion through unity. Empathy is one of the most underutilized tools in persuasion. When you genuinely understand someone's perspective and make them feel heard, they become more open to your influence. This is where the principle of unity becomes even more powerful. It's not just about saying you're on the same team. It's about showing that you truly understand and care. Wealthy individuals often use this in negotiations or leadership roles. By demonstrating empathy and a shared identity, they create strong bonds that make others more willing to cooperate. It's not manipulation. It's about fostering trust and connection, which naturally leads to successful outcomes. In your own life, try applying this in difficult conversations. Before presenting your argument or request, take the time to understand the other person's perspective and show that you care. This creates a sense of unity that makes them more likely to see things your way. Now, empathy isn't the only tool at your disposal. Sometimes you need to shift someone's mindset entirely, which is where the next trick comes in. Empathy also lays the groundwork for smoother interactions. When people feel they are understood, it's much easier to lead them towards decisions that benefit everyone. But beyond empathy, timing and mindset are key, and that's where mindset shifting comes into play. Trick 6. Changing mindset before delivering a message. Timing is everything, especially when it comes to persuasion. If you want someone to agree with you, you need to put them in the right mindset first. Let's say you've had a disagreement with a colleague, and now you need them to support a new idea. Instead of jumping straight into the request, remind them of a time when you both worked well together. This primes their mindset for cooperation. Wealthy and powerful people are masters at shifting mindsets before delivering a message. They know that it's not just about what you say, it's about how the other person feels before you say it. By referencing shared successes or positive emotions, they create a mental space where the listener is more receptive. Next time you're trying to persuade someone, take a moment to set the stage. Remind them of a time when things went well, or bring up something that puts them in a positive frame of mind. This simple shift can make all the difference in whether or not they agree with you. Shifting someone's mindset is an art form. It requires finesse and an understanding of human psychology. But the most powerful moves come when you've laid the groundwork for a message before you even deliver it. Let's explore how setting the right foundation for persuasion can lead to remarkable outcomes. The importance of preparing the ground for persuasion. Just like planting a seed requires fertile soil, persuasion requires preparation. If the groundwork isn't laid, even the most convincing argument can fall flat. The wealthy know this well. They don't just walk into a negotiation unprepared. They carefully set the stage, ensuring that the person they're about to persuade is primed and ready to receive their message. This can be done in countless ways. For example, before a big meeting, they might send an email that highlights past successes or frame the conversation with a story that evokes emotion. By doing this, they make sure that by the time the real conversation starts, the person is already in the right mindset to agree. It's all about preparation. In your own life, think about how you can prepare the ground before a big conversation. Whether it's setting a positive tone, referencing shared goals, or even sending a thoughtful message beforehand, every little detail counts. Persuasion isn't just about the moment. It's about everything leading up to it. Laying the groundwork ensures that when the message is delivered, it lands with maximum impact. When someone is primed to hear what you have to say, they're much more likely to agree. This final step ties all the other tricks together, showing how influence is a carefully crafted process. After all the effort we've put into breaking down these hidden tricks, one thing is clear: persuasion is everywhere, and you need to be aware of it. If you've learned something today that shook your perception of how the world works, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we've got plenty more secrets to uncover. Staying informed is your first line of defense. But here's the thing: knowledge alone won't protect you. You need to apply what you've learned. So, what are you going to do with these powerful insights? Leave a comment below and let us know which trick surprised you the most. Don't wait for someone else to control your decisions. Take charge of your mind, your money, and your success, and be one step ahead of those who try to manipulate you. You won't want to miss our next video, where we'll dive even deeper into the psychology behind persuasion and power.